firstly, it's very incredible to meet you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So many impressive things for Harlem Fine Arts, and it's really cool to meet someone that is running the projects and really kind of coordinating what the future of the organization looks like. And it's exciting to be at one of the world's biggest institutions for art.
The Metropolitan Museum, we love it. It's actually really great.
Museum, look at that. So I have a few questions for you to kind of get to know you a little bit better and kind of see what you're working on and what some of the ideas you have regarding the organization and also just art in general, what your experience has been like in the field, and some things maybe you could recommend to emerging artists right now that are trying to break through.
Excellent.
I think I want to start with something a little more personal, which is, what would you say your first memory was where you were moved by art?
Oh, wow. Great question. I would actually just say I remember my grandmother taking me and my sisters to the Philadelphia Arts Museum. It was actually really great. I love those stairs. And I do remember Rocky running up those stairs. So it was like a wonderful memory for us. So I just remember a couple of years ago, I got a chance to take my nephews and we did the same thing. I think I have pictures, so I'll definitely I'll share those with you. But
of course.
That was one of my first memories of spending time with my grandmother and my sisters at the museum in Philadelphia.
Wow, that is a very iconic American Hollywood scene.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to hear. But that's found its way and buried its way into your what would be your exploration today. And
yeah, it's just very interesting to see it like open now. But when we first went on tour and you see would we be allowed in these spaces? Is that something? We talk about that all the time as well, about making sure that we're invited, how we're invited, and who invited us. Exactly. I think it's very key and important. And this is an important part of our history, right? We belong here, especially here. I think it is like, and I think that's part of what the not only the Metropolitan Museum, all the museums, especially in New York City, really want to make sure that folks that actually live here are welcome. Yeah, as they should. Super dope.
All right, it could easily be othered. Like, it's only for us. Get in where you fit in.
Facts. This is insane, dude. This is insane.
So it seems like you wear many hats.
I do.
You're a curator, an organizer, a cultural advocate. What part of your work right now, out of all the things you do, feels the most meaningful?
And that's also a really great question as well, because I've been doing, I would say, entertainment, marketing and promotion and management for over 30 years. Right now, what's really meaningful is being able to create these amazing spaces where the amount of talent that we actually have within our community get a chance to really showcase, their work. And I'm really excited about that. So I call myself a cultural producer right now. I'm pulling all of those pieces together. The idea in my 3 would be engage, amplify, and then move people. And move is really the call to action. If that is for them to be able to discover, to be able to purchase, is there the way to engage in a particular way, especially sharing what they've actually seen with others. I think it's really great. So the idea of just creating these amazing spaces are really exciting, and that's what we do at the Harlem Fine Arts Show. And I think that what I'm noticing folks now, especially Broadway, we do it all of Broadway, off Broadway as well. Folks are already thinking about what does the next 10, 15 years look like if we were to be able to start to develop things.
This is a perfect way to really be able to actually because there's still so many untold stories. And that's the reason why this part is so important to me, because you sit, look at their new technology. New technology.
The car runs 16 city units, so,
when I grew up, technology to me transferred 3 times in my lifetime. That really changed the way that we operate.
and the first big, was cable, right? So you think about cable, when you first, before cable you plug in, it was only 4 channels.
Yeah.
Then it all sudden it became 100. And after that, I grew up movies.
I grew up a lot of time when we had the hot box, remember the hot box?
Uh-huh.
The pay-per-view?
Yeah.
I'm telling on myself. Yeah.
It's so, but if you think I'll never forget my mom said, who's gonna watch news 7 days a week, 12 hours a day? That makes any sense. And there's a whole industry that's after that. I mean, who is gonna watch a music video all the time? And a whole genre was created for that. So when I look at that, that's the part that gets me excited. The next thing that came was this thing called the .com situation. Yeah. And buy, shoes online without trying them on, or clothes. Like, that was unheard of for me. Like, I know I had to try on my shoes. Like, kids don't purchase stuff online.
It's funny because it's like the .com era. They go over the bubble. And, now you have AI, which seems to be a bubble, but it's not going anywhere.
It's the same thing.
And,
NFTs, if you don't really understand what that's all about, it can be a problem.
yeah.
I think that if you're not using it and creating it, somebody's going to create it for you and sell it back to you.
And you're not going to have any agency on how to use it. Oh, yeah.
So something I think you just said that really resonated was the idea of discovery.
Yes.
What does discovery mean for you in the world of art?
Discovery for me, I think it's a really great way that if I don't really know something, I get a chance to share it, and folks would be able to follow. I have this hashtag attend with us. So the idea is I would love for you to be able to either, if you've never been to the Metropolitan Museum, we want you to come and discover it, that with us. If you've never been to the Whitney, if you've never been to the Harlem Fine Arts Show, we would love for you to discover and take that journey with us. I think that the idea of meeting and seeing and learning about art, I think is really exciting. I don't use the word art education a lot. I use the word art appreciation because there are a number of folks that say, oh, you have to be so smart or you have to have so much money. And that's not necessarily the case. I mean, I can like something and I don't know why I like it, but we can actually take that journey together to discover what that happens to be able to put that language to it. And so I love meeting people where they are. And I think that's what that's really all about.
So it sounds like you like going beyond art speak and kind of removing that fear of, oh no, I'm diving into institutional organizations. This is a little scary and daunting.
Correct.
Art should be for everyone, kind of like what Keith
Art is
said
for
a very long
everyone.
time ago.
Design is everywhere. Design is for everyone. And I think that there's a number of ways that we would be able to actually do that. We happen to live in a country that isn't always nice to people, right? And what I mean by that is, it could be very othering. This is for me, this is for you, blah, blah. But I really don't think that that's the necessary the space when it comes to art. Yeah. And the way I want it to be as authentic as possible, and I want it to be true, and I want it to be, fearless. So if that's who you are, we would be able to kind of do that together.
Are you familiar with Bleu?
Yeah, I am actually.
So this is the stuff that
So your organization, Ryan, is quite a bit of a platform.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot would argue that it's more than a platform. It's a movement, especially the way that you just described it.
Right.
How do you see it evolving over the next decade?
It's really interesting because I was brought on to the Harlem Fine Arts Show during this 15th anniversary. So this year we'll be celebrating our 18th year. So I've been with the organization for the past 3 years. The concept and the idea for the Harlem Fine Arts Show right now is the concept and the idea of how do I actually reimagine what the next 15 years could possibly be. And there's so many different ways at this point in time, and we've identified 4 different, marketplaces. We have our traditional collectors, and our collectors have been doing it for a while. Then we have patrons. Those are the folks that, I wish I would have been a painter or a sculptor or an artist, but I went into law, I went into candle making or whatever. But they actually have the means now that they would be able to support, you know, the arts and artists. And we actually really try to put those people together. And I have young professionals. Those are the folks that I just graduated from college. I just got my first job, and I really want to be able to, you know, I don't want to say necessarily make a difference, but I want to be able to see myself. So those are the folks that are purchasing art, are not purchasing their mother or grandparents' art. They want their own version of whatever contemporary art happens to be. And then we have these young collectors or young professionals, which I'm really excited about as well. You have the two Marys, Magdalene, his mother.
Thank you. Okay, there you go. Thank you, brother.
And those young collectors are not necessarily age. It really is about, I just want to get started, and I like, because I would ask people every once in a while, you know, what does collecting mean to you? You know, are you a collector?
Right.
Folks are like, no, I have all so much money, I need to do this. And that's the thing. I mean, somebody intentionally wrote information down in the Bible for us to remember. The same with the art. You know, people created what's actually happening now to be able to document. So I think documentation is really key and important, and that's a form of what that is.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, so throughout your history working with Harlem Fine Arts, you've worked with a ton of artists and visionaries. Is there a particular moment that stands out that really impacted you in a deep and profound way?
The very first show that I actually did at the Glass House, being able to, because the Glass House is about 65,000 square feet. It's actually really big. We have over 100 artists, about, I would say 75, 80 different booths. And when I actually saw the walls, when I walked into the space, they were up. I was like, oh my God, half my job is already done, and it was really exciting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the artists came in and started putting their artwork up, and it was just very, you know, emotional for me, because I was like, wow, we actually did it. Yeah. So I get really excited about, you know, again, this empty space, and then bringing people in and bringing them together and welcoming them in a unique way. Is actually very cool. So that was the moment that I was like, wow, I really want to do this, and continue to do it at a high level that folks are also as moved as I am. We would actually hear people say, they would walk in and like, oh my God, but you don't know where to start. Yeah. And so the idea right now is for us to do it. Wow. Congratulations. Let's go. I know we have to get ready to go, so.
Yes. I have one more question for you. Is, if anything, what would you offer emerging artists coming into the space right now, looking to make a sale, looking to build a community?
I think that I always would share for folks, you have to be in it to win it, right? So the idea is to be able to learn as much as you possibly can, to be able to meet as many people as you possibly can, and to be able to be opening and sharing. As long as it's authentic and you're truthful and your intentions are good, I think that it's actually really great. Of course, there's a lot more other things, you know, among that, but if your intentions are really good, I think that, you know, you're on your way. So I always tell people just to be in it to win it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Amazing.
Thank you.